This happened a few weeks ago and I haven't told anyone. I wasn't going to post it here, but the videos keep showing up again and I need to write it somewhere before I start thinking I imagined all of it. I know how these stories usually sound. I wouldn't have believed it either, but this really happened and I still have no idea how. I was driving across the state, heading toward a small town where I had an early appointment the next day. I left later than I should have and got caught in a long stretch of highway in the dark. There was rain off and on, not heavy, just enough to blur the road. I passed several exits without stopping, hoping to find a bigger place to stay for the night. Then I saw the sign. It was glowing white, halfway out, sitting in front of a small roadside motel with a gravel lot and a row of rooms. The letter said Lakeview Motor Lodge, even though there was no lake anywhere near the area. I pulled in because I didn't want to drive any farther. There were no cars parked out front. The office light was on. I walked in and was handed a key. No questions, no receipt. Room 6. The door creaked open slowly. The carpet was thin, the bedspread heavy and patterned, the kind that looks like it belongs in a hospital waiting room. The lamp in the corner buzzed softly when turned on. The mirror above the dresser was dusty around the edges. The air felt stale, like the room hadn't been aired out in weeks. I didn't think too much about it. The drive had drained me. I kicked off my shoes, set my phone on the charger, and lay down. The rain tapped against the window. It was a background hum that should have helped me sleep, but I woke up only an hour later. I opened my eyes to a heavy silence. I didn't know what had pulled me out of sleep, but something felt wrong. The air had changed. It wasn't cold, just heavy, like the room was full of invisible weight. I was holding my phone, though I didn't remember reaching for it. The screen was lit, a video was open, no thumbnail, no title, just a blank file with a timestamp from 22 minutes earlier. I pressed play. The video showed the motel room, my room. Same furniture, same lighting. The angle was high, like it had been filmed from the top corner of the ceiling. The bed was in frame. I was asleep in it. The camera didn't move at first. It just held the frame for over a minute, watching me sleep. Then it began to tilt. Slow, uneven, closer to the bed. My chest rose and fell. I didn't move. At 1 minute and 38 seconds, something stepped into view. It wasn't clear. Not a face, not even a full body, just a shape. Tall, dark, too tall for the room. It leaned forward just enough to stretch into the corner of the frame. I could see what might have been a shoulder, an elbow, the line of something that didn't belong in the room. The video cut out at 2 minutes. I didn't speak, I didn't move. I checked every inch of that room, the closet, under the bed. I opened the bathroom door slowly, expecting to see something, but everything looked the same. The front door was still locked. My bag hadn't been touched. I sat in the chair by the window and waited for the sun to come up. When it did, I grabbed my things, dropped the key on the counter in the office, and didn't wait around. I drove for hours. Every time I glanced in the rearview mirror, I expected to see something sitting in the back seat. I didn't stop until I reached a diner off a main road. I parked close to the building, went inside, and sat by a window. I didn't eat much, I just needed to breathe. While waiting for the bill, I checked my phone again. Another video had saved. This one was from earlier that morning. The angle was different. It showed the inside of my car. The camera was aimed forward from the back seat. The image was a little shaky, like it had been recorded while the car was moving. I was driving, and at one point, I saw something pass behind my head. A quick flicker in the reflection of the side mirror. Something tall, out of place, gone in less than a second. I closed the app. I didn't want to see any more. That night, I stayed at a motel off a busy highway. I picked it because it had good reviews and a bright parking lot. The kind of place with loud ice machines and television noise leaking through the walls. I reset my phone completely. Factory settings. Erased everything. But when I woke up the next morning, there was another video. The title was blank. The timestamp matched the middle of the night. It showed the room I had just slept in. Only the bed was empty. The door was open. and something was standing in the hallway just far enough that I couldn't make out the details. It didn't move. It didn't need to. The video from the second motel kept playing in my head all morning. I couldn't shake the image. The hallway stretched behind the open door, darker than it should have been, and that shape standing at the edge of the light, still, like it was waiting. I deleted the file, reset the phone again. This time, I didn't just wipe the apps, I bought a new device. I threw the old one into a trash bin behind the gas station under broken food wrappers and rainwater. I didn't feel better. I kept telling myself it was over, that it was just the phone, maybe some kind of virus, some trick I hadn't figured out. But I couldn't convince myself completely. Something had changed. I started to feel watched all the time, in my apartment, at work, on the street. Every reflection made me uneasy. Windows, screens, even the shine of my own glasses. That night, I stayed awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. I left the light on, no music, no television, just stillness. I started hearing sounds around 3 in the morning. Not loud, just light movement, like someone slowly shifting their weight from one foot to the other in the hallway outside the bedroom. My building doesn't creak like that. It was too steady, too measured. I didn't get up. At exactly 3:14, my new phone lit up. A single file appeared. No name, no timestamp. It opened by itself. The screen showed my room. Same bed, same lamp, only this time the video was brighter. It had been recorded just a few minutes earlier. I was asleep, face turned toward the wall. The camera angle was different lower now, close to the floor, like something had crawled in and set the phone down near the edge of the carpet. In the corner of the frame, near the closet, I saw it again. Not a person, just a shape. Same height, same stillness, same way it seemed to lean, like it had no effort to waste, no need to pretend to be human. The video ended with a flicker. Then the screen went black. I stayed in that bed until the sun came up. I didn't move. I didn't blink for long stretches of time. My mouth was dry, my hands numb. Later that day, I checked the new phone's camera roll. The video was gone, but a folder had been created. It was labeled Mirror. I opened it. Inside were 37 pictures. All the same angle, all the same image. A photo of me, asleep in bed, taken from inside the mirror near the dresser. Not a reflection. The camera had been placed inside the space behind the glass. My body was still, eyes closed. The room around me was just a little darker than I remembered. In the last photo, the edge of the mirror showed a hand. Too thin, long fingers, pressed against the glass from the inside. I dropped the phone. That night, I covered every mirror in the apartment with a sheet. Bathroom, hallway, bedroom, even the back of my phone screen. I unplugged the television, turned every shiny surface face down. The place looked empty, unfinished. I barely slept. The tapping returned, this time on the walls. Soft at first, then growing more deliberate. Not violent, just steady. I started to notice changes in the apartment. Small things. The door to the hallway closet opened on its own once. I found a coin balanced on its edge in the middle of the kitchen floor. Not something I ever would have done. My shoes were placed differently near the door. My towel was found folded and left on my bed. None of it made sense. On the fourth night, I decided to stay somewhere else. I drove back toward the highway and checked into a motel that looked new. Bright signs, clean floors, multiple guests at the front desk. I paid in cash. I brought nothing but a change of clothes and a toothbrush. I didn't connect my phone to anything. I left it in airplane mode. I turned it off completely and left it in a drawer. I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. The silence wasn't peaceful. It felt hollow, like the room around me had grown too wide, like the walls weren't the real edges anymore. At 3:14, the room shifted. That's the only way I can explain it. It felt like gravity changed directions for a second, like the floor tilted slightly. My ears rang. The light above me buzzed and dimmed, not off, just darker. Then I heard it. Not a knock, Not a whisper, just the sound of breathing. Inhale, pause, exhale. Right next to the bed, I didn't move. The light returned slowly. My ears stopped ringing. The air felt sharp and clean, like after lightning. I got up and turned my phone back on. There was one file saved on the home screen, no name, no app tied to it. It opened to a recording of my face, eyes wide, lying in bed, looking toward the ceiling. The camera was inside the room, close to my chest, like it was resting on me while I slept. In the reflection of my eye, I saw the figure, standing directly behind me.